this? I mean, does that make it more painful, I guess?
Yeah, I think the biggest, there won't be many regrets or any regrets I have with this team. I think the number one regret I have is that poor Marcus Shaver never got to, I kept thinking, well, his luck's going to turn, and then boom, away we go in the NCAA tournament. And then in that first half, that ankle was bad. Like, he couldn't even walk at halftime. And credit to our trainers, our doctors, and Shave. I mean, how courageous was he? He didn't want to abandon his teammates, and no matter what, if he had to be on one leg. But he couldn't even walk, and somehow, some way, he willed himself to come out and help us. But that's my only regret, that he never got to have the healthy year and even the healthy stretch. Because I just know what that kid can do when he's right and when he's healthy. And it's like I said, because these guys, I mean, it was a downtrodden locker room. And the reason being is because I don't know if I've had some close teams, but this team, man, they cared about each other. They left everything. And we got 20 offensive rebounds tonight. They just try to find ways to win and play with so much heart. And, Najee got 11 rebounds and 14 points. And, here's a guy that he doesn't have a position. He doesn't have he just finds ways to do it for his teammates. And on and on and on. These guys, Max was trying to will us to a win. Buzo was offensive rebounding, and Tyson always give. I mean, these guys they give everything for each other and for this team. And I think my words ring true from the very, very start of this year is depth is going to be, maybe our Achilles heel, maybe our, so you couldn't afford any. Our margin for error with injuries was just so small. And, now on the encouraging side, we got 3 all-league players coming back in my estimation, for sure. And then we got some good young guys that are going to develop. We got some great freshmen coming in, and we're going to add some pieces to this super team. It's going to be, you hate to close the book on this team because I'm just not ready for that, but there's an excitement about next year already for us and what we have, a first-team all-league player, second-team all-league player, and I know Buzo's going to develop into one for sure. And that's, that's a great place to start. So, like I said, that locker room was really hard because they gave everything to Boise State. They provided so much joy throughout the year and these great games they had, and never lost a home game in the Mountain West. And I mean, that San Diego State game probably goes down in history as one of the greatest.
Yeah.
Just, as the calendar moves forward, we'll reflect on that a little bit more. But just the way it ended is tough. We knew that Northwestern, we were going to have to beat them. They weren't going to beat themselves. And, we were relying on hope a little bit with Shave having to limp around. So we went zone a couple possessions. They missed one. You're like, oh, I hope they miss another. Those guards are too good. They made big shot after big shot. That's what good teams do, good players do. And, you have to stop them. And so we would have had to been at our best to stop them and to beat them. And, they got second in the Big Ten for a reason. And these guys are tough and good defensive team. And we hung in there right. I think there was a couple stretches when it was 2-point game, 4-point game, tied once, I think. And it seemed like we had about 3 balls rattle in and out, but that's this tournament. It's a fine line that separates the teams that get to advance sometimes and the teams that don't. And we're going to get there. This team, we'll keep knocking on the door and keep getting better. And that's, our program's growing, everything around it's growing. And, not, like I said, not to turn the page so quick, but we are excited. We know what's ahead of us.
Some you always talk about it's not a straight line to the top, like you said. And some fans right now may not, you say we're going in the right direction, they want to see this. And at some, fans say at some point they obviously want to see it happen at this point.
And it's I went through this at Gonzaga. I mean, we played an 8-9 game against Florida State, and everyone was like, well, of course you're going to win. Well, these are good teams. And, this is a 7-10 game. They got a 7 seed for a reason. And, the more I watched them, like I said, the better I thought they were. They're a great team. I mean, I know one thing: Purdue's almost unbeatable, and that team beat them. And then, so that it's, like I said, you have to beat them, and you have to play an A+ game to beat them. And we had some unfortunate event in that first half that, but like I said, credit to our guys, the way they battled, 20 offensive rebounds. I mean, they left it all out there. They tried everything to get it done.
I don't know if you'd admit this, but I mean, you look at what you lost last year, and you can make a case you guys overachieved this year.
No doubt. These guys squeezed. I mean, Najee Smith will always be remembered because of how hard he played and what he got out of his body. And he got 14 and 11 tonight. And that was Najee.
You said he was on your scout team a couple years ago.
Yes, but these guys did. They squeezed the staff did an amazing job, and the players did. Like I said, a little bad break with Shave. We couldn't afford to have that because of not enough depth, and that's a lot to put on your freshmen in these NCAA tournament games and those kind of things. But this team always you never walked away going, well, they didn't try hard enough, or they didn't play together, or they didn't, they played the right way, they represented us so well. There's not much more you can ask for. The rest is just basketball. Is really hard to win a game in this tournament. It's really hard. I've been through a lot of them, 15 of them, and I've been through ups and downs of this, and sometimes you just got to get a break here or there to get you through one, and we'll keep knocking at the door, and we'll get it done.
And there's probably two obvious positions that you would want to improve.
No doubt.
As that, I don't know, I don't know how much time you'd take for that, but do you feel like with a couple pieces, could this team be better next year? Or just as good?
That's our job,
yeah.
And that's what we're going to try to do, and we've done well with that before, and I just feel like we got the makings. When you have a nucleus of the guys that we have, you had the right guys to this, and all of a sudden you got a chance to be a super team, and that's what I've envisioned. That's what we're going to go out and get. We're going to find some guys that fit with these guys and that are unselfish and great players, and so it's a great job for somebody to come in and play with these guys, because we're going to have a great team next year.